Hey everyone, my name is Tony and welcome back to the channel. So soft furnitures are one of the hardest things to model in SketchUp. So in today's video, we're breaking down the Lithos Sofa using Artisan, and we're going from a low poly base to this smooth, realistic form in a step-by-step workflow with Artisan. Let's dive in. So anytime you model something in SketchUp, you need to simplify the shapes first. For this example, we're going to model this sofa. And if you take a look at the reference images, you can tell that some of the shapes are similar while others are unique. So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we have this backrest and seating part, which is unique. Next, we have these two seating sections, which are pretty similar. And finally, we have the armrests. And because the sofa is symmetrical, all we have to do is model half and then mirror to the other side. So first, let's start by dragging our reference image into SketchUp. We're going to press X, that's a custom shortcut to explode. And then we're going to make a group. All right, so first thing, we need to scale this image. I'm going to draw the 24-inch reference line for the height of the seating. And we're going to use the tape measuring tool to scale it to that size. Type 2 feet, which is 24 inches, and accept the request to scale. And now we have a realistic proportion of our image. This is also not a fixed scale, as we can always adjust things later in the video. And I found as many images as possible that I could, scale them to the same size, and now we can start to trace on top. Now before we start blocking the shapes, let's add some guidelines using the tape measure tool. So I'm going to use these guidelines just to get a rough measurement of some of these shapes. Right, so first let's block out these shapes using the rectangle tool. And I'll do my best to come as close to the shapes as possible. And also use the push-pull tool to extrude into a rectangle. And as always, make sure to group your shapes into groups or components. So this is going to be a group. And I'm going to repeat the same workflow to build out the backrest shape with the rectangle tool. Use the push-pull tool to extrude and convert it into a group. So we got two shapes, and in order to see through this material, I'm just going to select, go to my material editor and decrease the opacity. So now that we have this mid portion, let's select the two shapes, right click and turn it into a component. And now that we have this, we can easily create the other two. So select move, hit Ctrl to make a copy, mirror to the other side. This is around a foot longer, so I'm going to right click, make unique. And I'll go inside this group, and I'm actually going to use a SketchPlus feature called Deep Stretch. This allows you to stretch entities inside a nested group. Select these two outer edges and let's extend this to another feet. So we have something like that. And for the armrests, we're going to repeat the same steps. We'll create a rectangle. Next, push pull by 4 feet 6 inches. To me, this feels a little overscaled, but we're going to scale this down further at the end of the video. So now that we have this half, I'm going to copy this in place in this component, and we're going to mirror this to the other side. So select that component, activate the mirror tool, hit Ctrl to make a copy, and drag the red axis to the center of your sofa so it creates another copy. And for our first step, we have our sofa completely blocked out. So for the next step, we're going to try and get these blocks as close to the shape in the reference images, and we're going to use a couple of tools in the Artisan extension. So we're actually going to come in here, simply going to copy this out of the group and line it up with the reference image. So turn it 90 degrees. Now from here, we'll go inside the component, as you can see, and we're going to subdivide once. And we get this quad subdivision across this block. So that adds subdivision automatically. And now I'm going to use the loop tool to add some manually myself. So I'm going to add one here, one at the bottom, and one to the right. And depending on the direction, this tool adds a loop cut across the entire object. And from here, I'm going to activate Artisan Mode. This is going to switch to Artisan's version of the SketchUp tools, which will be these guys right here. I can now use the select tool to select some of these vertices and edges. So now we can start to move this and try to come as close to as we can to the actual shape of our image. So my workflow here is pretty simple. I'm selecting the vertices and edges and repositioning them to match the profile of the reference image. And while doing this, I'm adding as many loop cuts as possible to subdivide my shape even further to make it easy to create the rough shape. Let's suppose we end up with something like this, which is not perfect by the way. But to show you what this could lead to, I'm going to activate Subdivide and Smooth and increase the iteration to 2. And as you can see, this gives us that smooth shape that we can see in our reference image. So it seems like everything is going in the right direction. So let's add a little bit more detail to the subdivision. Let's go inside the group and we'll activate the loop tool. We're going to add 2 more extra loops, one on either side. Align view and parallel projection. Next, we're going to activate Artisan Select, and I'm going to double click to select my loops. So one click selects one edge and double click selects an entire edge loop. And I'm going to hold Shift, do the same to the next 2 loops. Remember, we are in Artisan mode. I'm going to select the Move tool with my shortcut, click once to make my move, and right here I'm going to hold Control, and this is going to allow us to move the selection along the surface normals. And we'll repeat the same for the loop cut in the middle. So double click to select, activate Move, click and hold Control to move along the surface normal. Now before we continue, let's apply the same workflow to these rough shapes. We can go from this to this, and if we hide the reference image, can see how it's more or less pretty close to the shape. But here's where we can start to add some detail. If we look at the very bottom, you can see that some of this needs to be completely flushed so it feels like it's resting on the floor. That's the case with the armrest and some of the backrest as well. So what I'm going to do is draw a plane, and we'll try to flush everything that's past this plane flush to that level. So in order to do this, we're going to use Make Planar. If I come here, I can make my selection of the vertices and edges that I wish to make flat. Activate Make Planar, reference one of the vertices and use the up and down keys to switch the axis. So this is going to be on the blue axis. Make one click and that flushes everything to that plane. And if you start to see mistakes like this, I can select that vertex alone and just move it up. So that solves one. And then we got back here as well. So let's repeat. Make selection, activate Make Planar, reference the vertex, lock on the blue axis using the arrow keys, and click to flatten it out, and you should have something like this. Now what I don't see is actually these guys touching the floor, so we'll go into that group, make that selection, and we'll bring it up to that point. So reference that point, bring it down on the blue axis and lock it down to the face, and then we'll repeat the same step. Select, Make Planar, vertex point, and click. So now that looks much better. As you can see, everything is touching the floor. Now this is actually a very important step, and we're going to repeat this on certain areas of the backrest so everything feels flushed. So we're going to use Make Planar to make these side edges flat. And just to add a little bit more detail, we're going to move these edges a little bit further so it has a bit more of a round profile. And also, just to be safe, we'll add another loop cut on the left and right sides of the cushions. and you should end up with something like this. Okay, so let me repeat the steps very quick. So far, we had our reference image. We blocked out the basic shapes. We use subdivision and artisan tools to move everything as close to the rough shape of our reference image. And when you apply subdivision and smooth, which is this tool right here, you will get it close to this. Now, this is pretty much close to our final result, but it's missing one key detail, and that is the crease you see around different parts of the sofa. Now, to add the crease, it's actually very simple. All we have to do is add a couple of extra loop cuts very close. So we're going to this component, for example, activate loop tool, and we're going to come very close and add one to the right and another to the left. So with the tool still activated, you want to press Alt so we can do some editing. And then I can select a loop and I can move it around in case I want to reposition this loop in any other direction or distance, but we're going to leave it as is. And now the next step is to move this loop selection inwards. So let's activate Artisan mode with the selection tool. Double click to select my loop. Next, activate the move tool. I'm using M as my custom shortcut. And while in the move command, you want to press Ctrl to move along the vertex normals. This will go inside to create our crease, let's say at about 1 inch. So you want to create something like this. Notice how the crease is created through that entire loop, but if you want to level this out, you can use the Make Planar tool and flush it to this vertex. So you will have something like this. And that's how this looks. So let's repeat the same workflow into the other shapes. And to keep it simple, you want to use the loop tool to add 3 loop cuts close to each other. And also make sure you're working in artisan mode to select your loop and use the move tool to move it inwards along the surface normals. So now that I'm done, it should look something like this. I'm going to repeat the same workflow to the backrest components. And we should end up with something like this. So now that we've added the crease, we only have a couple of steps left. And from here, we can start to smooth the geometry. And we can do this in a couple of ways. For example, I can go into this group here, activate Subdivide and Smooth. You can increase the iteration, which is the level of detail. You can also display the original edge, no edge at all, or the quads. And for the visibility, you can choose between the subsurface or the original proxy. So from here, for example, I can select the subsurface, increase the iteration, and you pretty much get our final result. And if you wish to make any changes, you can just go back, or if you want to stick to these results, you can commit. The next way you can also do this is to go back to your shape, select all, and we can actually increase the subdivision from here. So it adds another level of detail. And from here, once again, select everything and activate Subdivide and Smooth. And you will get something like this. And for the last way, you can select your entire shape, activate Subdivide and Smooth once. And if you want to increase the iteration, just click again to add another level of detail, and you should end up with something like this. And that's pretty much half of our sofa almost finished. So let's repeat to these last few components, and we should end up with something like this, and very close to our final result. Now, the very last step is that if you look at a reference image, it looks like part of the armrest bends a little bit in. And you can do this by using the FFD tool. So for example, you go into your shape, activate FFD. It adds these little control points that you can use to bend your geometry. And you can actually change how many points to add. For example, we have 3 sets of 3. I'm going to change this to 3, 4, 3. And you can see that change. Activate Artisan mode, and now we can start to control these points to bend our shape. And here I'm using the move tool to move these control points, and you can see how it starts to affect our 3D object. And as a result, we get this fluid bend in the overall shape. And because this is a component, same will happen to the other side. And if you look closer, you will notice the same bend on the seating area. So let's repeat that same workflow in our model. So let's go into the group, select all, and activate Artisan mode. And when we activate FFD, we will get our control points and activate the move tool to move these around. If you look closely, I've selected the points at opposite ends and slightly moved them up. And we'll do the same here. Go inside, activate Artisan FFD, select the outer points, select the move, and we'll move these up 2 inches. And with that, we are almost there. Let's do a little bit of cleanup and hide the edges from our 3D objects. So let's go into the group and toggle hide edges. And we'll repeat the same in the other shapes. Now we're actually quite far into the video, but it's pretty cool to see everything come into fruition as we're very close to our final result. So the very last step is to add textures. So to apply the material, I used a very simple workflow, brought in my texture that I applied directly to the face of the 3D object, and then I used SketchUV to apply a more advanced mapping technique. So you simply right click and select the box mapping and scale if you need to. And I've repeated this workflow across all the other 3D objects to bring it to our final result. And this is what we end up with. This was really a practical video that went across some of Artisan's essential tools. And really, once you go through this entire workflow once, everything becomes much easier and quicker for you to learn. Now, obviously, this isn't a perfect one-to-one, which is why I saved all the essential steps so I can always go back and make some changes. And if I really wanted to shrink this down at the bottom so it looks a little bit more like the reference image, I could easily do that. So this is another tip I advise you guys to follow as well. And that's going to be all for this video. Hopefully this entire workflow is showing you how you can model soft and organic furniture inside of SketchUp. And if you're interested, the link for the Artisan extension is in the description. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.